Hello, all, and welcome. And I am the Big Tao Philosopher. So, today's show, I want to discuss the Boy Scouts. Something I've been reporting on are now going to be allowing girls into the Boy Scouts. I don't understand it. It makes no sense to me. Why in the hell are you going to let girls into the Boy Scouts? And how can you still call it the Boy Scouts? How can you still call it Boy Scouts if it's now letting girls in? So it's like the whatever Scouts, right? Right? What a joke. And this empty shirt here, who we're going to talk about in a second, oh my God. So the Boy Scouts have decided, because of pressure from feminists, from leftists, from the equality crowd, that we have to desegregate the Boy Scouts. Yes, of course, there's no talk of desegregation with the Girl Scouts. Of course not, because it's not really about equality. If the feminists were concerned about equality, they would be trying to get boys into the Girl Scouts too. But oh no, they don't want boys there. Because men are evil, masculinity is toxic, and anything that has to do with maleness must be destroyed, must be watered down, and boys have to be made into girls so that we can control all of society better, because free-thinking, strong men make strong leaders who then don't do what we, the people who want communism on a global scale, tell them to do. So we have to destroy the Boy Scouts. And of course, they found that the best way to do that is through cultural Marxism. And they've done a very good job with feminism and destroying the family. So now they want to go after one of the few bastions of male strength left that still teach men to be men, and teach them how to be strong, and teach them how to be good leaders. And that's the Boy Scouts. Well, we can't have men in society that are strong, critical thinkers, that have good logic and reasoning skills, and have strong leadership skills, and know what they are, who they are, and are proud of being men. No, God, no, we cannot have that. We can't rule those people. We can only rule women, because women are subjective and leftivist by nature. Men are not, so we have to make men into women by turning all families into single mother households and making sure that all the mothers, 95% of the cases, get the kids. And then that way, the boys turned into these pussified little wimps who all want to join the Girl Scouts, which is what the Boy Scouts is going to be very soon, because once the women infiltrate, then they're going to start to change all the programs to suit women, which doesn't make a lot of sense, because they wanted to join the Boy Scouts for the experience of the Boy Scouts. But of course, that has nothing to do with it. They just want to integrate it and then change it into the Girl Scouts. So let's listen to what this empty shirt has to say and how he justifies essentially destroying a more than 100-year-old bastion of strength and hope and light for men.
Hello, I'm Mike Serbat, Chief Scout Executive of the Boy Scouts of America. I'd like to update you on an action taken today by our organization so that we can continue to serve as many youth and families as possible.
Okay, now notice right there, key words: serve as many youth and young people as possible. He didn't say boys. This is just like when Star Trek changed their intro from where no man has gone before to where no one has gone before. It's all this PC bullshit. And it's designed to do one thing: destroy traditional society and to destroy the white heterosexual male. Just to eviscerate him, okay? Because he is the one who is most immune to identity politics. He's got to be destroyed.
Scouting is about one thing: to prepare young people for life with the goal of instilling in them skills that develop character. And
okay, so to develop people, develop skills in people, not boys. Notice he didn't say boys.
Leadership. We and others have recently been challenged by a very complex topic.
No. It's not complex. Penis, vagina. Penises belong to boys. Vaginas belong to girls. So penis, vagina, boy, girl. That's pretty goddamn simple, I think. Now, if you want to get into the complexities, we could get into chemistry, biochemistry, biology. Then, yeah, we are getting into a complex area. But that complex area tells us the same goddamn thing that the simple one does, that you have boys and you have girls and that's it. There's not anything else as far as gender.
On the issue of gender identity.
Okay, gender identity is a red herring. It doesn't exist, okay? Not the way the left has described it, okay? These two words put together, it's just not a noun phrase, okay? Gender and identity, they're two separate words. Gender identity, if you want to put them together and make a phrase, it just means, it doesn't mean anything. But to the left, it's a subjective measuring stick for identifying your gender based on how you feel. Now, identity is a bit more subjective than gender, which is why it's being thrown after gender. So identity is, for example, your own personal identity. Then there is your objective legal identity, like your name and your, on your birth certificate and on your driver's license and your age and your sex and your, that's an objective identity. Identity is objective in that sense, but it can also be subjective. And they're using a subjective interpretation of identity in terms of reflectively talking about how you feel about yourself in regards to gender. So they're trying to muddy the waters and make gender into something that is subjective. But gender itself is in no way subjective. That is a 100% objective measuring stick for what someone is. It's not something you can make subjective. But they're trying and they're winning.
For more than 100 years, the BSA...
Okay, stop. Notice he didn't say Boy Scouts of America. So now, in every single advertisement, they're not going to say Boy Scouts of America anymore. It's going to be BSA. Now they're just 3 letters. That's it. Now the Boy Scouts of America are just 3 letters and so the 3 letters is not words. So B doesn't mean anything. Oh, it represents boys. No, not anymore. So it's just that's their new name because they can't say Boy Scouts of America anymore because they're not Boy Scouts of America anymore if they let in girls.
Along with schools, youth sports, and other youth organizations, ultimately deferred to the information on an individual's birth certificate.
Right, because what they're born as is what they are. And this is all just horseshit in the end anyway, because left to their own devices, transgender people, more than 80% of them, by the time they're grown-ups, have reverted back to their actual gender. It turns out, that they were just confused, they were mentally ill, they were going through a rough time in life, something got them off track, and by the time they're adults, the vast majority of them have pretty much grown out of this bullshit. So all you're really doing here is enabling people to continue to be mentally ill, to continue to claim to be something they are not, and you're validating that choice, and you're making it possible for them to continue that kind of fantasy living, where they're living in a fantasy world of being something else than they really are forever, when if left to their own devices, they would have simply grown out of it.
To determine eligibility for and participation in many programs.
Okay. You are what's on your birth certificate, meathead. If you were born a boy, they're going to put boy on it. What's so difficult to understand about that? You're a male or you're a female. That's it. We're a binary species, sexually speaking. All right? There's just 2 genders. There's not a million billion of them. And this leaning toward this relativism where there's unlimited genders, it's really just an attempt by the left to turn all aspects of reality into relativism, especially moral relativism. So that everything and anything is open to interpretation. So reality has no real stable foundation. Society, culture would then have no stable foundations and then could be molded and shaped into anything people wanted, which is, of course, what the left wants because they want that kind of relativism because then once that is total and is the new normal and is the normal for everybody, they can just come in and take over. Because everything is allowable because everything's relative, right?
Especially single-gender programs. After
He just contradicted himself. Single-gender program. So if there can be single-gender program, that means there are genders, which means you cannot have transgender, you moron, you.
Of significant conversations at all levels of our organization, we realized that referring to birth certificates as the reference point is no longer sufficient.
What do you mean? Now you've just shown what a moron you are. It's no longer sufficient. What the hell are you talking about? What do you want to, we're going to hold people upside down by their feet and take a look between their legs like we do with cats and shit? Oh, boy, girl, boy, girl. What is not, that's not sufficient enough? That's what it was essentially done and put on their birth certificate. What more do you need, you pinhead, you?
Communities and state laws are now interpreting gender identity.
Notice he's bringing up the law now. So he's trying to get himself off the hook by inferring to you that their decision is based upon legal pressure. Excuse me. He's trying to pass the buck, as it were, to the state. Well, laws have been changing, and there's a lot of pressure on us to integrate. So we're having to bow down and give the state what they want because these new laws, so we're just doing what everybody else is doing. We're doing what the state is requiring. It's not our fault. Horseshit! You're a private organization, you meathead, you. The real problem here is that you get federal funds. Yes, the Boy Scouts is a private organization, but they get federal money. And this guy, he wants to protect himself. He wants to protect his job. He wants to protect his salary. Because the Boy Scouts, just like a private charity, for example, the vast majority of the money they get goes to pay the people that work for the Boy Scouts, okay? And to justify their existence in their cushy little jobs. So he don't want to lose the money that he gets. So he's bowing down to the left-wing pressure. Although he's a fool. He doesn't understand what's going to happen. He is clearly completely out of touch with his six-figure salary. He's completely out of touch with the boys and young men in his group. He's completely out of touch with their parents. If he thinks this is going to fly, what he can look forward to is mass exodus from the Boy Scouts. And then he's going to lose so much money, so many members, that his organization will just cease to exist. Oh, but he made the people happy, meaning the feminists, because they threatened his bottom line. And of course, they'll get whatever they want because there's more women in society than men. There's more female voters than male voters. And so the women are in charge and the politicians will do whatever the feminists say because they don't want to lose their jobs and they don't want to look like they're not progressive and they don't want to be called racist, sexist, homophobic, Islamophobic bigots. So they have to give the feminist, leftist, communist nut jobs what they want. Just like this stuffed shirt.
Differently than society did in the past.
Yeah, society was sane in the past.
And these new laws vary widely from state to state.
Right, and of course in your state, these laws are a very real thing and they're very strict, and so you had no choice but to cave and give the feminazis what they wanted. Yeah, right.
Starting today, we will accept registration in our scouting programs based on the gender identity provided on an individual's application.
Okay, so there we go. How you feel is the new normal about what you are. So if I feel like a cuttlefish, I'm a cuttlefish. If I identify as a horse, I'm a horse. If I identify as a Mercedes, I'm a Mercedes. If I want to go into a furniture store and sell myself as a couch, I go in. I'm a couch. Okay, stand over there. We'll send people over who want to buy human couches. It's absurdity. You can just be whatever you identify as. Right, okay. Because if you break down the very core of what people are, then you attack and destroy what is the very foundation of a society. Because the individual no longer has an identity, no longer even has a valid sexual identity, then he might as well not exist. He's just this amorphous blob that can be shaped and molded like a piece of clay into whatever the hell the people in the majority want him to be, or whatever the hell the most current narrative, most in vogue thing is. I mean, you're basically turning everybody in society into a limp noodle. And limp noodles are very easy to manipulate and control.
We will also continue to work with families to find scouting units that are the best fit for their children.
Right, notice he didn't say for their boys, just for their children. And of course, if you're a girl and you want to join the Boy Scouts, well, you can simply say, I feel like I'm a boy, and you'll get in. And you can get in if you're a lesbian, too. If you're a lesbian girl, because you can say, I'm a lesbian girl, and I also feel like a boy. Well, there you go. The death of America, people.
In summary, we've taken the opportunity to evaluate and update our approach.
I love how he says, in summary, to summarize everything he's just said, to make us believe he's some kind of intelligent person when he's clearly demonstrated that he is a moron.
I hope you will join with me in embracing the opportunity.
No, I will not join with you in embracing the opportunity to defile and destroy one of America's great organizations in the name of political correctness. No, I will not join with you in embracing that.
To bring scouting to more families and children.
Again, so notice more families, more children. Very general reference, no reference to boys and men.
It can benefit from what our program has to offer.
Right. Do you understand that the Boy Scouts, I don't think this guy even knows what the Boy Scouts are, even though he's like the executive director, blah, blah, blah. The Boy Scouts were specifically created to serve the needs of men. Now, yes, there might be a few women out there who are tomboys and who enjoy doing male-oriented tasks more than they do female ones, but they're a very small majority. Are we going to take an organization that has millions of boys in it and creates and fosters an atmosphere for helping boys and men develop into strong leaders and have strong characters? Are we going to destroy that to make a handful of women happy? I mean, hello, you can't always get what you want, ladies. Okay, you're ahead there. You might be 6 women now, 6 girls out there out of 600,000 who want to join the Boy Scouts. So we have to destroy the Boy Scouts, essentially, to make you happy. What the hell makes you so fucking special? You delicate little flower, you. Oh, I could cure cancer in the future. I'm that important. You arrogant little cunt. You're not that important. You're no more important than any boy. And to say that we have to take this century-old organization and fuck it up just to suit you and your wants and your supposed needs is absurdity. That is absurdity. It's insanity. If we go by that logic, we'll have nothing of value left in this world.
The BSA is committed.
There we go. BSA. What does that mean? Oh, it doesn't mean anything anymore. It's just now our title. That's our title, BSA now, because we can't use boys anymore because boys are persona non grata. No boys in the name. Just B.
To identifying program options that will help us truly serve the whole family, and this is an area that we will continue to thoughtfully evaluate to bring the benefits of scouting to the greatest number of youth possible.
Right, you have to be as inclusive as possible. So you're going to let in everyone now. Next it's going to be turtles and dolphins and deer. And I mean, when does it stop? Yeah, but we have to let in girls in the name of diversity and inclusivity. Meanwhile, the girls are not lobbying to get boys into the Girl Scouts. So it only goes one way, guys. Women, their main goal, feminists, is to destroy everything that is male. Masculinity is toxic. Masculinity is evil. We must destroy them. So we have to make the boys into girls. We have to make them into take them from objectivist thinkers and make them into subjective human beings who base all their decisions on emotion. The globalists, the elites like that because subjective people are easy to manipulate and control. And that's why they don't like organizations like the Boy Scouts, just like they don't like the traditional family, just like they don't like traditional marriage, and don't like traditional 2-parent households. Get rid of the man, have all boys raised by the mothers who were man-haters by that point because they're subjective and they're ruled by their emotions. Oh, my husband cheated on me, he left me, now I hate men. And so your boy becomes a surrogate for all men you hate, and you make him into a self-hater. And then before you know it, all boys are girls. And that's why groups like the Boy Scouts are so important, and now they need to destroy them as well.
All while remaining true to our core beliefs outlined in the Scout Oath and Law.
You're not remaining true to your core beliefs because your core beliefs are about educating young boys and men. So you're not remaining true to anything. You slug.
On behalf of all the youth we serve today and the millions we will serve in the future, thank you.
Yes, yes. Now your organization can become a Marxist training platform. It can become a place where all young people can go to be indoctrinated. And of course, now that the girls will get in, they will change it, they will adapt it, and they will make it into an organization that is for the brainwashing of young boys. Way to go, you stuffed shirt piece of shit. I am the MGTOW philosopher, and I wish you all a good day, if you can have a good day after having to listen to this idiot speak and learn of the travesty that has become of the Boy Scouts. Bye-bye.